Hey guys, hope you're all well. So as you can see, it's going to be a tag response to my good friend Ready03. And over the weekend, Ready03 asked a fantastic question after watching one of my videos. And his question is, what is your favourite trilogy of games from this generation? He did also say if you can't think of one for this generation, you can include last generation as well. So, I mean, if you watch my channel regular, you're going to know what I'm going to pick. So I'm just going to get straight on with it, and my choice is going to be Uncharted. Hands down my favourite trilogy of this generation. Probably my favourite trilogy of all time, I would say, because they are just absolutely fantastic games. Now, to give you a bit of history of Uncharted as to how I got into the series in the first place. Years ago, before Uncharted, the first game, Drake's Fortune, came out, I used to, when E3 was on, I used to use my Xbox 360 quite a lot back then. And I used to download all the videos from E3, all the interviews, you know, all the usual sort of stuff they put on. And I remember the one time, there was going around the show floor, some random presenter was interviewing people left, right and centre. And at one point she was interviewing this guy, I don't know what they were talking about, some game or whatever. But in the background I could see a screen, and all I could see was Uncharted Drake's Fortune. But I didn't know what it was at the time, I had no clue what this game was, and I just saw this guy running around the jungle and jumping and shooting and getting behind cover. And I was like, what is that? I've got to find out what that game is, it looks absolutely amazing. And so, you know, when I did eventually find out what it was, I was really hyped, and I couldn't wait to try it out, see what it was like. And then the demo dropped, and I think a lot of people at the time weren't that impressed with the demo, and it kind of put them off buying the full game, whereas I was the complete opposite. I was just totally drawn in by the story and the characters. I thought the demo level design was, you know, it was a good choice of level from the game. It showed you everything you needed to see, you know, got you accustomed to the controls and everything, and I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. It blew my mind. I mean, graphically it was beautiful, but then it had this fantastic cutscenes with these absolutely superb acting. I mean, it was really high quality, and the game just blew my mind. And so for me personally, the reason I absolutely adore this trilogy, and I've got to say, this is the first time I've ever found a series of games where I've become, I don't know how to say fanboy, but I've become really like hyper about them, and I really love them to bits. And when a new one's announced, I'm like looking at every little bit of information I can get my hands on. I've never been that way with games before. I mean, there's games that I love, of course there are, but there's never been games that I've gone that extra mile with. And I've always found it hard to understand people who are like really hardcore Final Fantasy fans, or Zelda fans, or Halo fans. And I just think, you know, what makes you get to that point? Now I know, because I mean, I've just been totally hooked in with Uncharted. And I think the big thing for me, you've got the great gameplay. It does so many things right. I mean, it has got its flaws, don't get me wrong, the gameplay does have a couple of things that need tweaking, that's for definite. But, you know, mostly it gets the gameplay spot on and does a lot of things right, which a lot of games don't do right, and I really love the gameplay. And I like the balance as well. The first game was a lot more gun heavy, but from the second and third there's a lot more balance between the platforming, the adventure, and the gunplay, the puzzles. So it's really much better laid out. So the main reason I absolutely love Uncharted is basically the story. It's the first time for me where this generation and last generation, you've really gone into the situation where we're making games that are more interactive experiences, and you know, it's becoming more and more like a movie every time you play a game these days. And Uncharted for me is the first game that I played that actually nailed it perfectly, because they got really good actors to do really quality acting. I mean, they put them in the room together, they bounce off each other, they act and react, and they just bring out absolutely fantastic performances. You can see that they're taking the script seriously. They're not just, you know, doing a video game. To them it's a serious script, and I really appreciate that a lot. And the thing that's really important is that it's a mature take on an interactive experience. They've actually sat down and drafted a proper, good quality story with great characters, you know, good character arcs as well. And it just draws you in from the second you play the game. You know, you want to find out what happens next. You want to see where the journey of the characters goes, you know, and how they interact with each other, and how the relationships develop. And it absolutely blows my mind every time I watch them, because I can play these games more than once. I've played number 2 4 times, I've played number 1 2 or 3 times, I've played through number 3 twice already. And every time I watch every single cutscene, I never skip them because they're that good and that high quality. And they always make me laugh in the right places. It's a natural laughter, it's that well written and that well acted. It's not like a forced, you know, you can tell when a lot of game scripts, when they're trying to like make a joke and it's just really bad and doesn't work. But Uncharted just nails it every single time, it's brilliant. And I think Nathan Drake is one of the best lead characters they've ever come up with in a game. You know, you got this character where he's really quite laid back, and you know, he jokes around a lot. He's a fun guy to be around, and you know, you're always going to get an adventure. But then he's got this dark, obsessive side where nothing will get in between him and the object of his affection, whether it be a lost city or an object or something mythical. He's always on the hunt for something, and it doesn't matter what or who gets in the way, he won't allow it. He's single-minded and focused on this one goal, and I think that's brilliant. It really, you know, gives him a really good duality, you know, and I think that works fantastically well. And especially in the third game as well, you see it a lot more in the third game. And you know, he has to make tough decisions as to what's more important, you know, the hunt for the treasure or his relationships with his friends. And it's really, really well done. I love it. I just can't rate Uncharted highly enough for me. I mean, it just ticks all the boxes: the graphics, the fantastic surround sound audio, the level design, the gameplay itself is fantastic. The characters, the story, the script, just everything is just absolutely perfect. If you want a really, really good, high quality, near enough movie experience, an interactive entertainment experience, then Uncharted, you can't go wrong. You know, I know a lot of people who haven't played the games will probably look at them and think, oh, they're Tomb Raider clones, or you know, they're doing a bit of the Gears of War third-person cover. But you really do have to play them to understand that they were a lot more than that. They're a lot more involved, and they're just fantastic titles, and I absolutely adore them. And I'm a hardcore Uncharted fan. Don't want to use the word fanboy, but I'm a hardcore fan. And yeah, so that's my choice really, Uncharted. So yeah, thanks Barry, really great tag mate, I really appreciate you doing that, it's excellent. And of course guys, if you want to post a response, please post a response to Barry's video, which I'll put a link in the description below as well for. Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what everybody else thinks, what trilogies are your favourites. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you all again soon.